What's up, everyone? We have a brand new MOC today, but this time I bring you float 10 instead of 11 and 12. There's some drama going on the Reddit page about how float 10 is really tough and people are struggling to clear. So I thought I might as well post my clear of it. I first read this on the day of release, so I don't understand sort of people's complaints, but once I went back, I realized what they mean. I don't think the HP is too much this time for float 10. It's slightly lower effective HP than last time because Nuclear takes additional damage after you break his armor. This isn't AoE as much as it's a need for frequency of attacks. So let's see how I plan to play her. When MOC starts, there's one attack of Garment Maker thanks to Agalea's technique. Each time Garment Maker attacks, it gets one stack up to 6 times when its speed hits 300 plus. You want to get 6 stacks as quickly as possible, since those also translate to Agalea's speed and attack during her Supreme stance. The first Sparkle turn is always for Garment Maker. It has 55 speed. So if we don't give it an action advance, it will attack at the end of the cycle, and we don't want that. Once Garment Maker attacks, you'll reach the point threshold for Mem, which is RMC's Memo Strike, to give you 100% action advance. You of course pick Garment Maker again to bring it up all the way from the next cycle so that you can stack up faster. The benefit of this is that Agalea also gets the 2 damage buff, even if you advance Garment Maker. Thanks to E1, but also if you had an energy regen rope, you'll have enough energy to ult with Agalea and enter Supreme Stance state. From here on out, the biggest hurdle for this team is to stay in Supreme Stance by casting ultimate again and again before the previous one ends. We'll be using action manipulation by both Sparkle and RMC to achieve this. Remember, the joint attack by Agalea gives more energy than Garment Maker, so advance her always. Starting on the first side, we're using the Agalea team, and this is the first time MOC was built for her. The additional 20% energy is the best because her energy bar is 320, so 20% is 64 energy per cycle. This makes playing her much easier. The enemies are nothing new, we've faced these mechs multiple times before, so just attack the main enemy. This first side is a DPS check. The bomb enemies that spawn can be killed, but it's entirely your choice since the best they do is some toughness damage to the enemy. On the other hand, if you don't kill them, they do a lot of damage to your team unless you have good sustains. When Nikudor spawns in wave 2, his mechanics for this floor are different from that of floor 12. For this floor, you need frequency of attacks. You have to break his war armor as soon as possible since he takes extra damage after you break him. Using ultimate allows you to do more than one instance of damage to its war armor, which can be seen by the little red circle below Nikoda's health bar, and the glory stacks which let you break more war armor can be seen above your ally portraits. Each war armor break is an additional hit of damage, which you need because the boss has a lot of health. Of course, someone like Agalea is really good for this size since she has 200 plus speed and Garment Maker has 300 plus. You're not always looking for high damage attacks, so someone like Acheron who has a lot of backloaded damage but can dish out a lot isn't the best against this particular boss. Follow-up team is great here actually. Lingsha and Aventurine have high attack frequency as sustains, so they're also very potent and can be slotted into any team.
So fragile, like a wisp of silk.
All things in this world, human creations. Together as one.
All life to be revealed. Countless, thus our fates become one. So fragile, like a wisp of silk. All life to be revealed.
Can you find the answer? Yin and things in this world. Moments. Creations.
So fragile, like a wisp of silk.
I see through you. Converge and awaken.
A little honesty would do it. All lies should be revealed. Countless, thus our fates become one. So fragile, like a wisp of silk.
I'll go into the mist. Feel spiffy?
All lies should be revealed. Is that fear I sense? So fragile, like a wisp of silk. Countless, thus our fates become one.
Together as one.
All lies should be revealed.
Do you find the answer?
Is that fear I sense? So fragile, like a wisp of silk. All lies should be revealed.
For side 2, we are using the super casual Feixiao follow-up team. Literally, Hule, the only problem is because he attacks 70 million times. More than the DPS check for this side, you need a great sustain. I'm using Lingsha for her successive attacks and Feixiao stack generation. But overall, she also has a ton of healing. Even if you're not spamming skill points, Fuyun is constantly going. You can see it on the action bar. Plus, her ultimate is the guaranteed full heal for your entire party. I don't really have much to say about wave 1 for this side, so all we do is aim for the Wolf Elite first so that it doesn't debuff your team. All the enemies on this side have wind weakness, so Feixiao does amazing. The problem for this side begins when Hule spawns. You'll see Hule attack about 6 times before I even get a turn in, so make sure to have your Sustain's ultimate or whatever get out of jail free card ready. I keep Lingsha's ultimate ready in case somebody is going to die, and you'll see multiple times that my either Topaz or Feixiao are going to die. Ruanmei is built tanky, so she is usually not the problem. All of Hule's attacks are blast, but they hit 3 allies at a time and not 4. It could be possible that the same ally gets hit every time. They will definitely die without an emergency heal. When Hule enters the Moonraid state, shown by the red counter, what you have to do is attack him until the circle turns blue and he calms down. The HP on this side is low enough that you don't need AoE, single target is pretty easy. I have a good build Lingsha because I've always known that we would go back to a defensive meta, which clearly this is. So all my sustains are built just as well, if not better than my DPS. Game mechanics can change, but one thing remains constant, is that if you die, you fail. Anyway, I don't focus on the little enemies that spawn, they will despawn when Hule dies, and more or less they do no damage, so why waste turns on them? On top of that, he has a mechanic that kills all the enemies in the turn when he attacks us. It's one of his earthquake attacks. You'll see it when you go through the stage. That's about it, just a few turns and we clear MOC 10 easily. We took 8 cycles, which is the same amount of time it took to clear this time's MOC 12, but also it's 2 cycles less than what it took me to clear last MOC 10. I'm trying to find a picture of the HP difference between last time and this time, but following the mechanics for Nikador make it so much easier. So yeah, that's about it. See you next time.
The market is unpredictable. Investing in victory means playing the in this world is bleeding.
HP bars aside, you can see that the flow 10 this time is much easier in terms of mechanics. It's not as annoying, there aren't as many debuffs. And yeah, if you have a good will sustain, you will be fine. War armor is tremendous to reduce effective HP of the enemies. So make sure you have a unit that attacks a lot. If you have been crutching on Acheron, you can't do that this time. I would suggest investing in a different unit. Obviously, the latest units, which being the Herta and Agalea, are great. That's how they sell these things, but they're not necessary to clear this MOC.
You're a stubborn one.
Every petal all will be swept away by the wind.
Never hesitate.
I venture forth to forever triumphant! Victory is inevitable!
The truth, everything in this world is bleeding. Immerse yourself in it. Time to cleanse the filth.
I venture forth to forever triumphant! Victory is inevitable! The fearless shall not fear! I won't fear.
Some value, I suppose. Eternal. Every petal all will be swept away by the wind.
Stay away. The market is unpredictable. Investing in victory means playing the